Good evening, model railroaders, and welcome back to the Second Section podcast, where it's just regular folks talking about model railroading. I'm your host, Andy Dorsch, and joining me this evening is my co-host, Mike Ostertag. Mike, how you doing?
Not good.
Not good?
No.
Why?
Because I screwed up the door on my... Oh, crap. I screwed up the door on my caboose that I'm trying to build.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Well, it's supposed to open, right? It's supposed to open. So I left the door's mechanism so it could open. And when it got somewhat kind of glued shut, and then the mechanism broke and the door fell out and the body's glued onto the frame. So there's no way for me to put the door back on from the inside. So I'm trying to get it to go back. But I got this handy little thingy though that with a little suction cup thing.
Boy, it works like a charm. It really works great.
I got a different one. I got a different pad for it. Other than that, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic.
I was going to say, you've had a
model railroading.
You've had a very major life event, haven't you?
I have had an enormous life event.
Yeah.
And I am beyond a happy guy.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to
just real quick? I'll just mention it real quick. My youngest son and his girlfriend had our first grandchild on Sunday, and he's
congratulations,
and he's awesome, and it's I can't believe I'm a grandpa, but that's awesome. I can't say enough good things about it. It's really, really cool. So
yeah. Well,
and you've already picked out his first train, haven't you, Mike?
No, I have not. I am not not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that to him. Because it's well, I kind of thought about bringing one to the hospital and giving it to him, but then I know how my kid is, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's probably not a good idea. But he'll have plenty of time for that, and then in 8 weeks, get to do it again. Or less.
Oh boy.
You're going to be a grandpa twice over then.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
you're going to be on diaper patrol. Oh man.
Well, maybe. We'll see. I already asked him. I said, did they teach you any of the tricks about changing a boy's diaper? And my son said, tricks? I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yep.
That's what I told him. I said, the hard way. I said, they're going to have to learn the hard way. But I'm sure that they've figured that out already. But it's cool. Cool time of my life, man. That's sometimes trains take a back seat, and yeah, this is one of those times where trains are definitely taking a back seat. So
that's right.
Can't get enough of the baby.
That's very true. It's never too early to start playing with trains.
No.
So
how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm doing great. I can't complain. I got a new hat. So I'm wearing that on the show tonight.
Where'd you get that hat from?
Some sort of hat store online, and sent them in my logo, and away they went. It was pretty cool. Took them about 3 weeks to get it to me. Came all the way from Denmark. It's crazy.
Like Denmark, Wisconsin?
No, Denmark as in one of the
Denmark.
One of the countries in Europe, Denmark.
Oh, Denmark.
Yes, that Denmark.
The one that owns Greenland.
Yes, the one that owns Greenland. That's been in the news as of late. But so that's been a big thing in my life, and I've managed to stave off the flu. So I'm pretty happy about that. Other than that, working on the model railroad. But enough about me. We got a couple of guests here on the show this evening. So in the lower right hand corner, we got Dr. Minnie. He's been a staple of the Second Section podcast. Yeah, my right, maybe everyone's left. I don't know how it works out on the staging there. There we go. And then back again, got to start here on the Second Section from Brew with the Crew. had a good time, and a few beers were had with the crew that night. Ralph Heiss, welcome back.
Thank you.
And yeah, so we all know Dr. Minnie pretty well, but this is only the second time that you've been on the show. So why don't you go ahead, give yourself a little bit of an introduction, what your interests are in model railroading. Let the section crew know who you are.
Me?
All right. Well,
this
this guy. Which guy?
Which guy?
That guy.
So
my name is Mike Ostertag. I model the Farland Terminal Railroad.
I was talking about Ralph. Unless I was just staring at Dr. Minnie. Yeah. No, go ahead, Ralph. Why don't you?
Thanks, Dr.
Why don't you give the section crew a little intro here?
Well, as Andy has said, my name is Ralph Heiss. I hail from South Plainfield, New Jersey. It's somewhere in the middle of New Jersey, if you are familiar with the shape of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I am modeling an HO scale the Lehigh Valley Harbor Terminal Railroad, which was the Lehigh Valley's end of the line at New York Harbor in New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, in the 1950s. And you may wonder why a guy who is only 55, and so nobody has to do the math, that means I was born in 1969, why somebody of my age would model 51. And that is because two reasons. I'm modeling car floating operations that were very prevalent at that time in history still. And also 1951 was the year that my dad graduated high school. So that's why I picked that year.
So you got a couple of significant dates around that year.
Exactly. The 1950s was basically the last really hurrah for New York Harbor car floating and all that kind of good stuff that, ferry boats, all that kind of stuff that went back and forth between New Jersey and New York. After that, it really entered a sharp decline. And by the time Conrail came around, it was all but gone. It just wasn't very profitable. Containerization had happened in the, I would say, late 60s, early 70s. And it was just labor, and it was just labor intensive, and it was equipment intensive. It's equipment that sits in water, whether it was wood or steel, and wood and steel don't like water too much.
You don't say. So you don't say.
Really?
I know, right? Groundbreaking. But the overhead was just ridiculous, and then the way Northeast Railroading was changing in light of the Erie-Lackawanna merger in 1960, and then Penn Central really made a mess of things, and then here we are, a couple years later, and we have Conrail. No,
someone's gonna have to give me a lesson on what Penn Central did and why they're just the worst.
Okay, I can give you a
separate episode.
It'll be a separate episode, but I can give it to you in one sentence. In one sentence, one short sentence. I can give you the whole Penn Central thing. Burlington Northern in reverse.
I don't get it. I'm gonna have to go to school on this at some point. So.
Okay, so Burlington Northern merged 4 railroads together,
right,
and became very successful and did it very well. The Penn Central merged, 3 or 4, right? There was more than 3 railroads together. Yeah. Oh, Central New Jersey, right? Yep. Was that the other one? Yeah.
No, that was New Haven, Pensy, and
New Haven. Yeah. And it was mismanaged from the beginning and an absolute disaster.
Huh.
So there.
You know everything
you need to know about. Yeah. Their logo is really cool. I mean, it's speaking of, wait a minute. I have a Wisconsin and Midwestern car that's a former Penn Central.
Yeah, you got a Penn Central there. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I bought a whole bunch of these. Yeah, I've got
I just love the P and the C. It's how they did it is really cool. So Ralph, we're gonna dive into your I guess layout and then the theory behind it and all that good stuff tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk about it. I know there was a lot of chatter on the Facebook page when you announced it. So I'm glad to talk about it, and until everybody gets blue in the face and goes, "Is he done talking yet?"
I don't know if that's going to happen. I think I can just tell.
Time.
Well, that's why they want us to be quiet and let these other guys talk. They're more interesting than us. That's the whole deal. Kidding. So, yeah, so that's great, Ralph, and welcome back to the show. It's and I'm looking forward to this because I know diddly squat about harbor or maritime railroading, any of that stuff. So I'm here to learn tonight. And I think it was Matt Forkham was very interested in tonight. So we'll try and have to stall a little bit. Because I think he's going to join Ladies Got School tonight. So we'll stall and make sure that he gets in there. So, but it's time for our first segment of the evening. We're going to do our little thing here. We're going to start off with hashtag not sponsored. We're going to get into the main course after hashtag not sponsored with Ralph. And then at the end of the show, we got that second section podcast group build going on, the weathering of the rail car. And some amazing modeling. We're going to share some of those progress photos tonight on the show. So I think it's time for our first commercial break. We're going to kick it over to the Greasy Meat Hands band, and we're going to fire up the old hashtag not sponsored. Here we go. Hit it. That sweet, sweet riff from the Greasy Meat Hands band means it's time for hashtag not sponsored. And to kick off our hashtag not sponsored segment this evening, we have brought in Dr. Minnie here from Mini Prints tonight. We want to talk about a special offer that you're running over at Mini Prints. So I'm going to step aside and give you the floor. Take it away, Bernard.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, people who are familiar with Mini Prints know a few things about me. One, I like shrinking people, and it's something that I do quite often. There is shrinkage, lots of it.
It's probably
shrunk.
Hey, I didn't know this was that kind of show. Come on.
Well, I mean, we're being open and honest here, right?
It happens.
True.
I probably shrunk about 350 model railroaders in the last.
How many?
Over 350.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. Mike, you've been shrunk, Mike?
I have. I'm somewhere.
You're somewhere.
I'm somewhere. I don't know where the heck I put me.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've done a lot of scanning at Springfield, the St. Louis RPM, Anna Marie conventions, club layouts. There's been numerous events over the last 4 or 5 years. Well, 4 years, I guess. And it's a lot of fun. The other thing that I like doing. Oh, there you go. There you are, Mini you.
We got to get you. We got to get Mike painted up.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
You're looking a little gray there, Mike.
I know.
You feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel great.
And
my wife actually wants me to paint one up for her so she can put it on her desk at work.
Oh, there you go.
Of it, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh my goodness!"
just don't let her crush up a little chicken bones and
yeah.
I know. That's why I haven't done it yet. Sorry.
In addition to shrinking people at miniprints.com, I really like supporting charitable causes, and I've done a number of them over the years. I scanned my wife in her equestrian uniform, and there's a little sort of Holly with her horse and we donate the proceeds of that to an equine large animal rescue. So I always have believed in the I guess social good element. That you gotta have fun with things, but you also have to do some good. And it's something that I've always had fun with, and I've always believed in. So I don't want to get too deep into the politics or the weeds or the he said she said here, but I'm sure that everybody who is here tonight, everyone who's watching, everyone who is a part of the model railroad community has certainly been aware of the drama, the chaos of the last few days. And as I say, we all have our thoughts and our opinions and our beliefs and our feelings. But one of the feelings I had was, wouldn't it be wonderful if we harnessed this hashtag, we stand with Lucy, I stand with Lucy, that I see that Benton and Southern has put up on the screen. And wouldn't it be wonderful if something good could come from this? Because I honestly believe that we need to take a negative, and it really was, in my mind, a negative, and turn it into a positive. And the positive is, if you go to the Mini Prints website, and I think I have it here. There we go. On the Mini Prints website, and I'm going to try doing two things at once. Let's see if I could do it. I've got a little section here called Mini-Me's. And can you see that there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I've got multiple browsers open, so I can't see what I'm doing. But yes, so the Mini-Me's, this is a section where there are the now, I think 350 individual Mini-Me's. If you go up here and you type Lucy D, you can type it from anywhere, you'll see a little Mini-Me figure of Lucy that I scanned at Springfield last year. So what I'm doing for the month of February, I'm donating 50% of all the sales of the little Lucy figures to what's called the Women in Model Railroading Special Interest Group. So that is a SIG, if people are familiar with SIGs, of the NMRA. And the National Model Railroad Association has the op SIG, and the layout design SIG. You guys have heard of all those, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you know there's a Women in Model Railroading SIG?
I did.
Yes.
No.
So this is something.
Tonight's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah. I believe Nancy Workman, Michelle Kempema, Sydney Abatacola. A lot of, there's so many women in model railroading. So they have a special interest group, and they were very much featured at Springfield this year. They had an operating session. And so what I'm going to do for this month is 50%. So half the sales of all the little Lucy's are going to go to support the women in model railroading special interest group. And what we would like to do is take that money, whatever it may be, whether it's $1 or $1,000, it doesn't matter. It's something, and we're going to use it. SIG means social interest group, John.
Special interest group. Special interest group.
So the op SIG, the layout SIG. There's probably a million other SIGs that I don't know about, but we're going to take that money and we will use that for. Well, they can use it for anything they want, but we are thinking some sort of outreach program where they feature stories of women in model railroading, advance the profile of women in model railroading, some sort of outreach that features women who are in model railroading and encourage more women to get into model railroading. So that's the idea behind it. It's just a fun little thing. It's something that Lucy is completely behind. Obviously, I checked with Lucy and Gordy, of course, at the NMRA, because it's an NMRA group. So this is not much, Ray.
Oh,
it's funny. It's
welcome, Ray.
Oh, Ray. Hi, Ray.
Having fun operating, Ray, I bet.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
The border The drama. It's been quite a week. It really has.
Hey, look, and there's Ralph.
Bernard, I became aware of that women in model railroading when I was talking with Michelle at the Rocky Mountain Train Show this last April, and I tell you what, it was that it's a really cool organization, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's not like, oh, there's women and they're off doing this. No, these girls they're getting their hands dirty, doing scenery, and I mean, my goodness, some of the work that they're doing is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and to me, it's not even about women in model railroading. It's about inclusivity in model railroading.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's more than just. I mean, we're a big tent, and it's not even a gender issue. It's a symbol to me of inclusiveness, and this is one example of it. One step that we can take towards it. But yeah, this to me just seemed to be, this hashtag is, everybody's talking about it. The hashtag is trending, as they say in social media. So why not take a negative and do some good, and turn a negative into a positive, and see what we can do. I mean, who knows? Maybe nobody wants to do anything. Maybe we'll have a ton of little Lucy's on layouts, but it's worth a try, and we will see. If we can do a little bit of good and have a little bit of fun, because that's the other thing too, right?
Right.
It's all about having fun.
Well, that pose of her is absolutely perfect for a trackside rail fan scene type of thing. Absolutely perfect. I mean, it's just it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and Lucy's the real deal. I mean, she's every bit a keener and a foamer, and she's been bitten by the model railroading bug. I mean, it's usually, you feel sorry for, like my wife, for example, or whatever. I feel sorry for her husband because she's train crazy. She's one of us. She is a crazy train obsessed person. So she fits right into the community as far as I'm concerned.
I absolutely love that. Train crazy. That is a good term. That's a good illness to have. Train crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
So,
sounds like a t-shirt.
As I say, do with it what you will. The spirit of this thing is, positive and fun. And I just wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a great thing to do, Bernard. So, and we at the second section, we stand behind you and the cause 100% of the way. So yeah, it's a good deal. And I will be putting in my mini prints order. There's some other stuff I wanted, too. But now this is the catalyst. This is going to get me going. That's awesome. For sure.
Well, there are lots of neat model railroaders. It was a personal thrill to scan George Celios of the Franklin of South Manchester, and Tony Custer is up there, so you can get a little Tony Custer on your layout. So there are all sorts of neat YouTubers and and celebrities and
personalities,
and people in really neat poses. So it's kind of
Bernard, fun. You've done so many of my personal friends, and I really got to get cracking and order. I'm friends with Tony. Obviously, Dave Abelys, Jim Homoki, who you've done, so Vince Lee, I gotta get the whole collection.
Little Lucy is available. That's a very good point. Little Lucy is available in N, HO, S, and O scale. And there was somebody who was bemoaning the fact that G scale was not listed. But if you ask nicely, I will be very happy to print Lucy in any scale that you would like. So those are just the four. All mini me's are available in N, HO, S, and O. If you have a special request, I don't think I will try Z scale. That might be a little bit too small, but happy to try other scales if people have special requests.
Yeah, you bet. So Bernard, I can't let you go running off without talking about yourself a little bit. So,
oh no, nobody wants to hear that story.
Oh, come on.
So
I do.
So last night you had a stream, a live stream on your YouTube channel where you showcased a couple of new things from Mini Prints. So it wouldn't be hashtag not sponsored if you didn't showcase some of your own wares, some of the new things that you have coming out. So would you mind?
No,
maybe?
I suppose.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, okay. It is hashtag not sponsored. So I like things that are fun and a little bit different. And I'm sure everybody here has sort of seen the things. I tend to work in these categories. So birds, animals. It all started with a little Canadian beaver, which I wanted for my own layout because I do model. I have a basement-sized HO scale layout of the Quebec Gatineau, which is a Genesee and Wyoming short line here in Canada that runs from Montreal to Quebec City. I focus on the port of Trois-Rivières, and that's where my sort of interchange yard is. It's proto-freelance in terms of all the industries are real industries, the places are real places. I might have jumbled them around a little bit, but that's fair. So I wanted the beaver. The beaver led to a whole bunch of animals, and suddenly 5 years later, we have really weird things like pooping pups and kraken sucking boats under the water, and I might have lost
That's what I'm talking about.
A little bit.
That's yes.
Yeah.
I'm ordering a dog that poops tonight.
Okay, well, there's more stuff. That's the oddities section, I think. Well, that's actually domestic animals. I warn you about the oddities up here because there are going to be all sorts of things that
the oddities are the best ones.
Yeah, those are awesome.
I want the bear with the antlers.
Yeah, that's the bear, a bear deer. Yeah, so there's the kraken.
Do you still have the bathtub Madonna?
Yeah, for sure. I love that. That one's actually strangely popular. So if you go up here to shop and you hit objects, there are all the objects. And that I just actually moved my site to a Shopify site because the beauty of the Shopify is, you just type in bathtub and the search on this stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, there's the little.
If you're from the Midwest,
they're on a half shell.
Yeah,
you gotta have one of those.
You gotta have one of them.
Yeah, and I found this really interesting.
We got
to. Here. There's our history of the clawfoot tub, the history of the bathtub Madonna. So the other thing too, I always love to. I just did a good job bouncing out of my own website, which is probably not a good thing to do. But I always like to. You do a little research into the history of this stuff.
Yeah,
because there's some really weird and fun facts out there. But the new stuff. What I will say, so there's all sorts of objects, details, little tiny things. But if you go to the home page and then you scroll down, here are all the new arrivals. So these are Bigfoot is one of my most popular. So people said, "Why don't you have a Yeti?" So I made a Yeti.
Wow,
it is
that's
winter.
Cool looking.
That's fair.
Yeah. And this is actually, I don't know if you guys are ever familiar with this. Have you ever seen a 1964 National Film Board of Canada movie called The Railrodder?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
It was one of Buster Keaton's very last movies that he ever made. So the silent star Buster Keaton did this really fascinating silent movie. It's about 25 minutes long. And he basically gets on a CN speeder on the east coast of Canada and goes right across the country to Vancouver. And it's hijinks and it's high comedy and it's everything that Buster Keaton is famous for in slapstick.
And not a word is spoken.
Not
a word spoken.
It's absolutely hilarious. So I did my own homage here to Buster Keaton.
Goodness.
And I created, actually, my friend Stephen Gardner created the M19 speeder, and that is prototypically accurate to the speeder used in the film. And then being the figure creator that I am, I created a pretty realistic, if you ask me, version of Buster Keaton from the film. And so that's kind of new and fun. And if anyone here has not watched it, you can watch it if you just type in The Railrodder, Railrodder. You will love it. And if you like vintage, like CN equipment from the 60s,
there's a ton of stuff to see, not just what he's doing. It's the railroad stuff in there is amazing.
Oh, it's a really neat historical little vignette. So there,
gosh.
you know, all sorts of crazy things. You know, I just have fun with stuff. You know, this is actually, I'm really proud of this. Can you guys see what that is?
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
It's a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I guess that's just not a Jersey thing, because you see them here in Jersey all over the place.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
These things are tiny.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well
and that's
done.
what we do at Mini Prints. We do mini things that are, you know, I'd certainly never seen these in HO scale before. So this was actually a request. You know, most of our things are requests. So people come up with crazy ideas, and I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Northeast must have asked for that, because that's New York, New Jersey. They're all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm the doctor is not medical, it's more mad scientist.
That's for sure.
There you go.
This is great. I always love going to your site, Bernard, and there's always something that you're always going to find that's just new and exciting. And I don't know, it's a really fun place to go and spend some time and spend some money on some cool stuff for your layout. So,
well, that's the key. It's got to be fun. And I think that just brings it full circle right back to the original thought of tonight. It's, you know, let's be inclusive. Let's be positive. You know, let's support good causes. And for heaven's sakes, let's have some fun doing it, because it's a hobby, right?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. Oh, and don't turn your hobby into your job, but that's another story.
That's another podcast where we'll have you back, Bernard, on that one. So thank you so much for coming on tonight on short notice, no less. And
no, happy to. I mean, you know, like I say, it's all about supporting Lucy, standing up against bullying, and supporting the women in model railroading special interest group.
Yep. Amen
awesome.
to that. Thank you so much, Bernard. And I'm going to put a little ticker up here running across the screen this evening here. So just to let everyone know, Mini Prints is doing this fundraiser all the way through the month of February for the Women in Model Railroading SIG. When you buy your little Lucy, half the proceeds go to the special interest group. So fantastic cause, Bernard. And I can't thank you enough. And you've been a fantastic supporter of the show. So again, thank you so much. Feel free to stick around for the some of the other cool stuff that we're gonna, I guess, put on display here for hashtag not sponsored, because I do have a couple of things that I wanted to share. But Mike, did you have anything that you wanted to carry on about with hashtag not sponsored?
Well, maybe.
Okay. Well, while you're doing maybe,
no, I got it. It's right. I don't know where the heck I put it.
All right. Well, I got one queued right up in the hopper.
All right. Yeah, you go get it.
So
I did with it.
Broadway Limited. So I'm not a passenger car guy. But these I looked at and I just, they took my breath away. I saw I think it was I talked to them at the St. Louis RPM about these, and oh my Gideon, the inspection cars that they're coming out with, the Fox River, these are some high fidelity passenger cars. They're just insane. And I am going to have to get one of these Chicago Northwestern inspection cars because one, I love the railroad, and two, they're just super cool and very fine detailed. They're only $129. Is what they're retailing for.
That's actually really reasonable for a passenger car.
Yes,
with a full interior and everything.
Yes. So these things are really sharp looking, and I hope to be getting one of these very soon. But this was one of the things that I wanted to showcase this evening. I thought it was really cool from Broadway Limited. They've been stepping up their game big time lately.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I found my thing. I found my thing.
You found your thing?
Who's modeling an OCS who likes that?
So what is it?
So we're all familiar with the handy dandy.
Yes.
Our friends at the Friends. These come in many shapes, forms, sizes, and this one is one. Believe it or not, yep. There you
Bernard's
go. Bernard
got his on.
Believe it or not, I actually got this one from Harbor Freight.
Really?
Yeah, I got this one from Harbor Freight. This one's really, really nice. But this is not what I want to show. I want to show. Go back to Bernard for a second.
Yeah, we'll put here. I'll do mine. We'll do mine.
Yeah, do yours. You put yours on.
These are my.
Yeah, that's yours.
I call them the sexy gogs because they're
right,
they even light up.
How about you come back to me?
Okay. I can't get over this. I cannot get over this. What are these things, Mike?
You look like a bad
it even gets better. Wait. It gets better. It gets better. There's an LED for each side.
Nice.
So you can turn the LEDs on and off. And watch this.
They flip up.
And these will go in and out.
Wow.
And on top of that, I can't.
There's more.
Can't grab anything. I can't grab anything with these things. They set on your nose like glasses, but they have interchangeable lenses for different magnifications. So yeah, I'm gonna wear them for diaper changes. No, thanks, Ray. Yeah, that's actually, I don't want to traumatize the poor kid. But anyway, this particular set goes up to 8 times. And I think I have the 2 times in right now, something like that. But they simply, in all seriousness, I found these on Amazon. I was looking for like, I think I just put in a search. There's 2 or 3 different types of these. This one has the batteries on the side, which gets a little cumbersome. There's others that have the batteries up here. Go to Amazon and just look up magnifying glasses or hobby magnifiers or something. But the cool thing about this is all these do is twist off. Just twist right off. You grab whatever one. Like this is just a plain 1 time. So this is just plain old whatever. And you just twist it back on and give it a little lock, and it locks back into place, and you're there. And if you needed something that was a little more close, because like these are great, but you only have the 2 magnifications, and yes, you can use them together to gain more strength, but for the most part, we're all so familiar with these. These really almost act as like a set of binoculars.
Yeah, right.
So they're funnier than hell looking, though. I tell you what, I know they're goofy looking, but they work really, really well, and they weren't that expensive. I want to say I spent $30 on them.
So Joe DeLusso says I get a set with 5 lenses off of Amazon for $35.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're not outrageous. It's not outrageous. So yeah, that's my hashtag not sponsor. You know me.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna come up with something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I do have one other thing.
Okay.
Railroad related ish. And this goes towards more of our generation, Andy, and older.
Oh, okay.
Do we all remember the Children of the Night? Do we remember
Children of the Corn?
these bad boys?
Oh my God, the 3.5-inch floppy. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you remember these?
Yeah.
Well, if you've got some laying around on Amazon, and I think I spent $15 for this, a 3.5-inch to USB reader. So if you have photos on a 3.5-inch floppy that you took years ago and have lost the ability to be able to get them off of those discs and onto your computer to digitize them, right here. They're not that expensive. It's like I said, it's a 3.5-inch to USB, and it actually comes with this one that I've got came with a USB to USB-C adapter. So, like I said, I know this isn't model railroading, but if you have photos, prototype photos, what's that? What were you saying, Ralph?
No, I was gonna say, but no, I was gonna say, but is it? It really is, because I know I've got stuff on. Gosh, I've got things on zip drives. I've got things on those, CD, old CD-ROMs. I mean, yeah, that's definitely model railroad, related.
Yeah, I mean, I've found photos on some of the stuff that I've got that I forgot I even took, and my wife is very happy because of the fact that there's pictures of the kids on some of these that she forgot about them, and I showed a couple of them to her, and so I know it's check them out. You won't regret it, honestly. I mean, especially if it brings back some of those lost memories and some of the lost things. It's I know it's a little dated for some of the younger people, but the older guys that remember growing up with those 3.5-inch discs, they are and
oh my gosh,
that's what propagated it. That's what started it, is because I found this and I'm like, I wonder what the hell is on here. Oh yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Is there
go back in time?
Is there anything you would rather have not found?
Not yet. Not yet.
What museum did those?
Hey, Ray, look, there's some pretty good pictures of very young Mike Ostertags in there.
We don't, that's
we don't need to see those.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, if you have some of those, if you have pictures on the 3.5 disc that you have never digitized before, because back in the day, that was the way you saved things, look into grabbing one of those off of Amazon. You won't regret it. It's really good.
That's awesome.
These are the best comments of the show.
This is really great.
This episode
Mike,
of Hoarders.
Mike, that's awesome.
See, I'm trying to help.
Awesome.
I'm trying to help. I just
here's a railroad question. We'll bring it in here. Does the line that go from Iron Mountain still run? Was up there picking up MDF from the LP plant.
Yeah, they run intermittent. Yeah. they run as long as they stay on the track. Stacks of Betamax. funny that you say that. Because when we moved into this house 30 years ago, there was a Betamax machine and a bunch of tapes in the attic. It's still there. I never took it out. So I don't even know what's up there, but there is a Betamax machine upstairs and about half a dozen movies or something. And I'm afraid to even go and look at it. So
the ancient text. This one got me. To Toledo, just Western. the ancient text. Oh, this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
What about laser discs? Laser discs the size of records.
The things that were the size of your car rim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yes.
Mike, it was really good. That's actually, I would have never thought of that in a million years. And that was definitely not on my bingo card for #NotSponsored tonight. So good on you.
I try to bring something different, and obviously I did.
No, that certainly was it. So I think that's Ralph, did you have anything
else or no?
Not really tonight, but Ralph, I just wanted to give you a chance if you had anything else you wanted to share. I know there was a lot of cool announcements from Springfield this year. So were you at Springfield, Ralph?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't get around as much as I wanted to because I've got osteoarthritis in both my knees. I was in agony on Saturday. So I didn't move much from the OC table, but on Saturday I felt a little bit, on Sunday I felt a little bit better. I got around. I always go to Springfield with a shopping list. Not only is that financially a smart thing to do, but that's so my modus operandi for the last 2-3 years, and absolutely got what I was looking for, and a little bit more.
There you go.
Not that I needed 2 more Conrail GP7s with sound and LEDs, but Lombard's was throwing them away.
That's what I heard.
So I picked up 2 of those. I got my 44 tonner that I was looking for. Not one of those Canadian 44 tonners.
Yeah.
And I got myself nice 3D printed cars.
Nice.
As a kid, I had always wanted the Alice Chalmers car, the Lionel Alice Chalmers car with the radiator that sat in the middle of it. So, now that there is such a thing to buy, I got one of those.
Did you get the one from Tully Models?
Put that Lionel load.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we had Kevin on.
I always wanted that as a kid.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now you got it. Oh man, I can't wait till that gets built. That's going to be awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, I ship all that kind of good stuff. I ship all that kind of good stuff off. People who know what they're doing.
Yeah, right. So that's good. So this will kind of segue us right into the conversation of your layout here. The stuff that you had purchased at Springfield, that's going to be shipped off your layout potentially. So why don't we talk about your layout
in 2
general?
ways? Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll do
as I said, I'm modeling the very far. Oh, there you go. the very far eastern end of the railroad. So everything going to New England and New York City, in specifically, is what I'm car floating off of my layout. And car floats are just active staging yards. So, loads like that will be coming either from or to, probably to New England at that time in history. So because I believe that's a nuclear reactor cooling unit. So I don't know how many nuclear reactors were being built in New England in the 1950s, except other than like maybe New London, where the steam base was.
Sure.
So,
sure.
And that would be a New Haven load. But yeah, no. Like I said, my layout is basically just one giant yard, and one end is staging representing the entire western end, Valley Railroad, and then in like a span of maybe 20 feet, there's the other end, the water, and that's everything going up to New England and into New York City. So
yeah, so
it's not exactly I wouldn't say it's not an exciting layout, but
well, it sounds exciting to me. So it's basically everything comes to a funnel. Is that would you say that would characterize
yes,
it?
It does.
Okay. That's cool. So let's talk about the room that you have it in. And I know you have a couple of things that we wanted to go through. You had some pictures, I think, that we wanted to bring up and share. And then I think you were going to give us a bit of a tour with the phone as we walked around. So does that sound like something we could do?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, however you want to go about it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people, listening that don't know New York Harbor in general. I can definitely bring up a map of the harbor. Let me see if I can do that. Share.
Yeah, that's a good thing to start with, is to kind of bring us to
come on, share screen.
Some sort of context here.
And guys, I'm going to go watch on YouTube. I don't need to take up valuable real estate here. So,
yeah.
So
always a pleasure, Bernard. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much. You're awesome, man.
I'll say goodnight on screen here, and then I'll go lurk in the background on YouTube and watch it there.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right,
buddy.
guys. Thanks so much. And I can't wait to see this layout, Ralph. It sounds amazing.
Go. All right.
Thanks, Bernard.
Good night.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see. All right. Right now, everything is just being a big pain in the butt and not working.
And that's all right.
I wish I could get it to work. Let's see, slides and PDFs. And that's what I have. Actually, that's not what I have.
Otherwise, you could do
guys.
Picture, or not picture. We could do share screen, and then I think the things that you got there is
there we go. Okay.
Yeah, window and all that good stuff, right? There you go.
Yep.
So we'll get you set up. Okay. And
okay, so there we go. Second section files. Here we go. So let me find it. Here we go. Here's a overview of the harbor in 1947. If it ever decides that it wants to open, that's the key.
Go. There you go.
It's spinning and it's it showed up on your end? No, not yet.
Yep, I got it's just taking a little bit of time, and that's okay. We'll be patient with it. Because it's got you got the harbor overview. Did you double click on it and you can see it on your screen?
No, I can't see it on my screen, so I have a feeling that it's gonna take forever to open up. So, I mean, like I said, we can move on from that, and we can I can show you the layout, which is really what everybody wants to see anyway. I mean,
right? Yeah. Enough of the theory.
That's in the end, everybody wants to see the layout. Exactly. Enough of the theory. Exactly. Because believe me, I could go down a rabbit hole, and we don't want to do that.
That's good. All right.
Let me grab let me grab my trusty phone here.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll add you to the stage, and I'm going to put you on the big board here, Ralph, with the layout. Okay. and you can get us to go around. Wow.
Perfect.
Now we're looking. This looks good.
There we go. So what we're looking at here is, so there's a CNJ branch that runs across the layout. It doesn't connect to the rest of the Lehigh Valley layout, and it just runs from staging to this short branch, which is where right now I have all my Lehigh Valley engines sitting. And you can see I have a hoarding problem, So where it starts, where it comes from staging, there's a big bunch of crossing diamonds, about 7 or so crossing diamonds, as you can see.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of diamond crossings, and yes, and I'm hoping that eventually Iowa Scaled Engineering, now they've come out with the squealer. I hope they come out with the diamond pounder, because I need a sound chip that has the sound of pounding diamonds. So this will be a very interesting pinch point on the layout, because the line coming straight across, that's the CNJ, and it comes down into a freight yard, and there's the freight house and coal company, and it just wraps around past my laptop, and it ended at a large U.S. gypsum factory. And I'm reworking this whole area right now.
Oh my goodness!
Because you can see that the tracks, run right into the building, but that's just a mock-up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's about 10 industries on this branch, and it's, gosh, if it's 15 feet long of a 15-foot long branch, that's but this part of Jersey City was so, it was so industry intensive. There were factories all over the place. So
I got,
but the main part of the yard, go ahead. Go
ahead.
Sure.
And the section crew has many questions as well. So we're gonna go back to Heath here. And he's asking, is Ralph's layout based on the prototype, or is it freelanced?
Oh, it's 100% prototype.
So
as prototype as you can combine a 3 mile long yard, it's prototype.
Okay. And so and this was what we talked about earlier, the essentially the terminal for the Lehigh Valley in New Jersey, right? And then kind of working into the car float operation. So you can see the car float's way down there at the end. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. So here's a case in point. There were 6 car floats at Jersey City. I only have room for 4.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And you can see those are the wooden truss float bridges. Yeah.
Wow.
So So there is a comment here from Matt Forkham, who did make it, by the way. I know he was one of the ones that had questions. He says you can upload your own files to the squealer, so you could use the squealer to maybe get that diamond pounding noise, which I think would be super cool. So
excellent. So well, I did speak to those guys, and they said there's something that might be in the works. So we'll see.
Oh my gosh! So Heath says that he sees the Fast Tracks float bridges. Is that accurate? Down here at the end.
Those were laser cut. Those were laser cut by. I'm trying to remember. Is that Matt, who owns Fast Tracks? No, I can't remember his name right now. But when he built his CNJ, display layout, a friend of mine, Dave Ramos, and I contacted him because we both needed those style float bridges, and he was like, "Well, sure. I mean, I already did the work, and it's just a matter of me laser cutting more." And he sold them to us. And so I think we might have been the first 2 guys to own copies of those. Anybody can buy them. I'm sure if you contacted him, he'd cut more and sell them to you. But yeah. So
I think it's Tim Warris, I think is the guy's name you're thinking of.
Tim Warris.
He the one that
there you go. Thank you. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So give us so if you'd be so kind, kind of walk us through so how does the operation or the theory work here? Because I see we got a lot of stuff in the foreground here, a lot of switches, and then everything kind of comes to the end here at the car float scene. So is this where everything starts, or is this where all your operations end, or both?
Well, it's both. Yeah, it's both because we were literally in a middle of a supply chain. If you want to break it down into that kind of thinking, it's the end of the railroad, but it's not the end of the flow of cars. You had all of New England and New York City east of here. So, it's active staging. It's going to be fiddle staging. So cars are picked up off the car floats.
Yeah.
I've got storage, shelves and whatnot, and I have no problem about manhandling cars. This is also why I don't have like a whole bunch of Rapido and KD cars, because I don't want to ruin them. So I'm good. I'm good with a beautiful Accurail or a nicely weathered and detailed old Athearn Blue Box. I don't really have a problem with. I'm not a car snob.
I mean, at the end of the day, those like even the newer Bachmann cars now, they're good quality, but they're durable, so they can take the manhandling. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is crazy. What are these industries off to the left here that you keep passing through?
Yeah. So these are pier sheds. So the railroad had. I'm modeling the very far eastern end of the yard, but the railroad had about they had about 7 different pier sheds, and I'll pan around to the end, and cars can enter. I can't. Oh, there we go. There's the angle I need. Cars enter the pier sheds, and these are scaled to actual drawings and dimensions that I have to fit the area that I had available. So you can reach in there if you have to and reel a car. And eventually, the person who built these cardboard mock-ups, he's a master car builder, not architectural model builder, and eventually he'll take care of sheath these, and so they look like they're metal sheathed and whatnot. So but yeah, the track plan. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. So the question that I had was, so these I guess sheds, what did they do? And it was like a transload type thing, or was it like a reefer icing? Like, what was the main purpose of them? I might have missed that or blacked out when
they
you
were
said
transload.
that. Okay.
No, sorry, they were transload sheds. They had doors on the side, so these empty gaps where I can walk into the layout, get up to and belly up to the yard.
Yep.
This was where these were slips for lighters and scows, and they would outload out of the sides of the buildings. They had large doors, and they would transload the freight onto scows, and then they'd car floated out to ships in the harbor or to a pier in New York City. So that's exactly what they were. They were transload warehouses. Warehouses is not really the right term, but
just like a protective building to move stuff out of the rail cars and into a barge or a scow so it could go somewhere else. Is that so? They like, what did they have in there? Like grain, meat? Like, what did they? Cement?
Anything and everything. So this open pier where you see the FAs and the one EMD switcher, that was an open pier, and they did have a crane on it, and that is actually where they would transload large crated shipments or cement canisters. So,
and that's what I'm looking at here.
More of those things.
Ralph, correct me if I'm wrong, but that portion of the just from my short-term research that I did, there was like several different locations that it wasn't just like the Lehigh Valley that had that. There were a lot of railroads that had at one time had these in and around the greater New York area, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody, gosh, almost all the major Northeast railroads terminated in New Jersey, the New York Central, the Pennsylvania, the Erie, the Lackawanna,
Oh my
the
goodness.
CNJ. Yeah, and it was all within if it was all within a 10-mile stretch of the Jersey City, Hoboken, Weehawken waterfront, just right across the river from Manhattan.
So you could have like a Lehigh Valley one next to a New York Central one, and it might not. I mean, it would probably be like that would represent a couple of miles away from each other, right? That would be the way that would have worked.
Correct. Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, that was more prevalent. You would see that more so in Manhattan, where you would have a pier jutting out into the Hudson River, a New York Central pier right next to a Lackawanna pier, next to a Pennsylvania Railroad pier. So,
wow.
Yep. And so everything came in through here. Now, coal traffic didn't get unloaded here, but a lot of coal traffic did end up going to the car floats, because New England was, at one time was an insatiable user of bituminous coal. So a lot of you would see a lot of Western Maryland cars, a lot of B&O cars, and they would come through and they'd get floated to the New Haven, to the power plants and all the factories that once were there. So, yep. So there'll be a lot of all sorts of car types coming through the yard. Yep.
So
this yard is built. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. So I was just
going to say,
I'll stop. You go, Ralph.
I'll shut up. No. I'm
done.
No, go ahead.
I'm done.
I'm done.
So I think you were going to talk about the yard. So let's just dive into that. So this yard here, how does this filter then down into the rest of the scenes here?
Well, like I said, I didn't say it wasn't a classification yard. What it was a gathering yard. So the cars would either be going east to the car floats. Let's just pick a direction. So they're coming from New England, and the cars would come off the car floats, and they'd gather them up. And if I could show you the other half of the layout, if it wasn't a disaster, it goes through the backdrop, and it goes more or less right into staging. And staging represents the major classification yard in Newark, New Jersey, the Oak Island Yard, which is still today used by Norfolk Southern and CSX. And then that's where everything was classified, and all the hotshot freights ran west towards Buffalo from there. So this was just, like I said, this was just a gathering yard. It wasn't a classification yard.
I'm thinking to myself. So yes, Heath, I'll get to the poop on that one dock in a minute. The question the question that I have then is, so like if you call it a gathering yard, how are you just basically unloading and you're not doing any car sorting, you're just unloading and taking it back to staging? How does that work out?
Well, okay. So there is obviously some classification, because you're sending things to the pier sheds. There is that backdrop of that backdrop building right there. That's just a placeholder for the REA Express building. And there is, if we go towards the hole in the wall, going back towards staging, you'll see a track. I guess it would be screen left, but it's really my right. And that goes back to another local industry yard. And there's a whole branch back there, another 16-foot long branch that the Lehigh Valley had. And that served a LCL freight station, two TOFC ramps, and about another 8 or so industries.
So. Oh, jeez.
There's a lot more of the layout that you're not. There's a lot more of this layout that you're not seeing because the rest of the basement is a disaster.
So there will be a part 2 then to this the Ralph Heiss Lehigh Valley terminal here. So okay, so let's talk about that. So let's play the game. If I were to bring in some cars from staging or on a float,
Correct.
or wanted to put let's do it that way. Bring them in from staging. How would I go about getting them loaded on a float?
Yep.
Do you have a certain like a car forwarding system that you're using, like car card waybill, or how's that work out here?
Well, I originally wanted to use a car tagging system. So this is what railroad yards used were route tags, and I developed my own route tags. And I got this idea from Keith Jordan on his Santa Fe layout, and it's easy. It's just telling you what the car reporting marks and the number is and where it's going. You don't need to sift through a whole bunch of information. I like information. I love the very full detailed waybills. Here's my friend Dave Ramos's, and Tony Custer uses these. I know it's probably blurry as all get out, but Tony Custer uses these. My friend Dave Ramos uses these, and they look like a real waybill, but it's a lot of information. And I thought all that information, as cool as it looks, and I actually can show you the backside. So the backside is a empty car card. So Dave is going to work with me to modify this, and it looks great. It's very realistic, but it's a lot of information. And the guys who are going to operate on my layout, they're used to it. So it's not like I have to try to teach a whole bunch of people how to read waybills. So everybody's quite used to it. So I'm going to go with that first, just to get up and running, and then I'll maybe segue into the system that I want to, which is, quite frankly, easier. But it's setup time. The setup is already done. I just have to really just modify Dave's system. Well, when I say system, his mail merge program to show my data as opposed to his routings and his industries. We just have to get together and do all the typing, which is a lot of typing. But he's an IT guy, so he's already been. He says he's already happy to help. So that's
there you go.
What I'm counting on.
It's always good when you can get your friends to help you with the clerical work on your model railroad. Mike could help me.
You're running solid ore trains, dude. What more do you need to do?
No, I got all these box cars that I keep buying from home shops.
Yeah, I forgot about all that stuff. That's a different part of the layout, though. That's a different thing.
Yep, I got all that stuff. So go ahead, Mike.
Ralph, basically when you're delivering or setting up your stuff to go into those warehouses and things like that, or the pier houses, are you really overly concerned with what is in the car, or just that this car goes there and it's either a load or an empty going in? It doesn't matter what's in the car. You just want them to put the car right there.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's no particular spotting. It's these are general pier sheds. Now, the only pier shed that was a specific pier shed was this triangular one, and they handled just flour out of that. That was a flour shipping warehouse. It had conveyors and slides in it, and it looks kind of funny because it's just a big giant triangular blob of cardboard. But that shed in particular, and that was the only one that cars didn't go into. But it was their flour warehouse at Jersey City. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. So you got a little bit of
So
every flavor there, don't you? You got a little bit of everything that happened on the piers there.
Yep. So at this pier, on this pier, it doesn't show it, but there was a cement unloader here. So this pier will have a little shed off the side of it where they actually pneumatically blew cement from a hopper car into a covered barge, which doesn't make much sense because, again, cement, water, not a good mix. Well, it's a great mix, but why would you do it? But they did it.
It gets heavy, right? It gets heavy. So there's a question. Yeah, a little bit. Question from the. Let me see here. I got to go back to it because I didn't want to miss it. It was the question of here we go. Bradley Ogden. How many cars do you roster? Layout looks great.
Thank you, Bradley. Well, the last actual count was, all right, when was Hurricane Sandy here on the East Coast? That was 2010, I'd say, roughly around there. I don't think it was that long ago, but it might have been. And so I was out of work for a week due to flooding and everything else. And I sat here in the dark. Well, when the light was just right, it would come through the basement window, and I would sit here in the basement, and I weighted all my cars, and I adjusted all my KD couplers, and I put metal wheel sets on all my car trucks. And at that point, I lined them all up on the layout, and I have a picture somewhere. And it was 270 cars at that point. Well, it's now 2025, and I can't tell you how many more cars I've acquired since then.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's a lot.
A few. We'll just say, in case the significant other is listening. A few, yes.
Oh, she's given up. She's given up, Andy. Yeah, nope.
There we go. So the other question that came in, there's a couple of them, and I apologize to the section crew who's been asking questions. I'm trying to get them in here as good or as seamlessly as I can. So John McCluskey asked, "How do you secure your track?"
Oh, John, that's a trick question. But Andy, you and Mike wouldn't know that. But that's a trick question from my friend in the city.
Oh,
yes, I'm famous. I'm famous for
right?
not using glue. It really is. Yes. Here, Mike and Andy, I'll show you how my track isn't. Let me swim around real fast. Everybody get dizzy. See, it's not secured. Look at that. But the turnout is. Look at that. The turnout's secure. But the track.
Oh, and now everyone's piling on here.
McCluskey for the win.
McCluskey for the win. So Ted DeLorio.
Ted DeOrio.
DeOrio.
Oh, the names will go on, guys. Yes, the names will just continue. I am known for hating glue, and I've repositioned these tracks so many times that if I had glued these down from the very first time I laid it, it'd be a mess. But that's why they invented. Look at that. And you know why that's secure, guys? John, Ted. That's because there's ballast there. Yes, I used sanded tile grout.
Oh, there you go.
And sanded tile grout it's glue of a sort.
Yeah, it's got an adhesive in it.
Yes, it does.
So there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So another Heath from Humanity Junction had another question about operating the layout. Are you operating it today?
Am I operating it today? I could turn it on. Absolutely, I could turn it on.
But no, like, is it operational?
It will be this year. Yes, it's been in a 4-year slump due to personal issues at home, but it will be. I am committed to hosting a couple of out-of-state groups in the next year and a half. So I need to get this thing. Oh, there it is. There's the poop. Yep. Mm-hmm.
There's the poop. Is there a story behind the poop?
The table right there.
There's the poop.
Yeah.
Well, certain, I just thought it was appropriate. No, it's actually a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, there you go.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, your friends.
My girlfriend gave it to me.
Here,
I wonder if she was trying to tell me something.
Your friends are giving you the business here. That's for sure. This is Ralph. This is really fantastic. So you got some goals then ahead of you. So when did you say the folks are coming to operate in a year or two here?
There'll be a group coming to New Jersey in November, and then there'll be another one in April, and that's the big one. But I've got to be ready well before that, so I'm hoping to start doing some beta testing of the scheme in June, July at the latest, because you just can't have a layout, build it, and go right into it. You've got to, you got to stupid proof it. You got to kid proof it, and yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's the
I've
plan.
got a question that's probably a little. It's relevant, but I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. I'm going to ask it anyway. All right. So while most model railroads like to use a quote unquote train master, okay, are you going to use a harbor master of some sort, seeing as how a lot of times harbor masters were utilized to help with the inflow of, where ships went in these big New York harbors? They had harbor masters, right? So are you going to utilize that as a position while you're operating to help with the 4 car floats and with some of the positionings of things that go to the warehouses along the piers?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the beauty of building this over the last 20 years or so has given me a lot of time to gather material, think about how I want to operate it. So yeah, there'll be a typical yard master and probably 1 switch crew, and then at the end where staging is, yeah, there'll have to be somebody who minds the picking up and replacing of cars on the car float. So I guess that would be your harbor master, and so there'll be 3 people here in this yard alone. That's what I envision. I envision 3 guys working, and I just lost the connection to the thing. Let's go. Let's get, because everybody's missed our smiling faces.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll bring. I don't know. It just died. It had enough.
Yeah, fair enough. So. Okay, so we'll bring you back on the big screen here, Ralph. And I'll pull down the iPhone. So a couple questions still that are coming in is so Don Hanley was asking, would there be anything, or would you do anything different with this layout, or is there anything that you would have done different?
Oh gosh, absolutely. I mean, I built it with people ergonomics in mind. I wanted to have enough room so you weren't. I could have filled this space, and like it's approximately 22, 24 feet long by 11 feet wide.
Yeah,
and I could have filled every inch of it with track, and I said no because I knew what the track layout in the real world was, but I also wanted it to be people friendly. I can't stand layouts that you're bumping up constantly against, even if they are your buddies. So yeah, but design wise, yes. I mean, I built it very simple, simplistically. I don't know how I would quite term it. I didn't use Homoso or plywood. I used the 2-inch insulation pink foam as my layout base, and the framing is very minimal. I guess I also don't think I wouldn't have bitten off as much as I did. I would have done something much more manageable. One of these little branches would have been an interesting layout in and of itself, but no, I had to model the whole terminal. So, yeah.
Yep, we've all been there, that's for sure. So,
absolutely.
That is, yeah. That's for sure. So your buddy Ted, he's giving you a bunch of grief here in the comments tonight. He's asking.
Go ahead.
You've been a fantastic sport. He goes, Ralph, where are you going to get a tugboat? They like tugboats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
all have that friend, don't we, Ralph?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's very good.
I knew they were going to show, and it's not like I kept it. It's not like I kept this whole show a secret from any of them. I said, "Oh, here's the link. Yeah, come make fun of me."
Yeah.
No.
But they're like moths to a
flame.
So
you're just planning on standing, quote unquote. You're standing in the waterway, right? So that's basically.
Yes.
The whole thing. So I mean, that's a really smart idea because you don't have to model any water then. I mean, it's not. I mean, I suppose if you really wanted to, you could get like a kiddie pool and put that down there and let people slosh around down there with that. But I mean,
I was going to say if I bend the picture, my laptop down, I can try to point to it. Yeah, it's not going to work because my finger's right on top of it. But right down here, right along the edge of the layout, that's the only water. And I painted it. I found a nice murky, New York Harbor green, and it's kind of convincing. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no envirotext, but it's just ugly green water.
Yeah.
Which is probably for the best that there's no envirotext because that stuff is the worst. It's good. Well, we're getting into almost our second hour here, so I'm gonna give Ralph a small break here to go grab another refreshment if he needs to, and let the section crew kind of digest what's going on with the layout. There you go, and get ready to ask Ralph some questions here at. As we close out the show, but we do have tonight, as promised, I said we were going to show those progress builds for the second section podcast, weathering the group build, and we're doing weathering a freight car. And Ralph, you're that's like the thing that you like to do, right? Is weather. I think you mentioned that in the pre-show. Was it last night? So it's good to have you along to give some critique and oogle and with the eye candy that we're going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to give the old it's going to be kind of like hashtag not sponsored or what's on your workbench, one of those types of things. So I'm going to try and pull up the post. We got 22 comments to go through tonight, so here we go.
Hey, can I say something first before we dive into this?
Yeah, you do you, man.
I just want to address directly the section crew. All right, way to knock this crap out of the park, guys. I mean, honestly,
when Andy and I kicked
around, oh hell yeah,
yeah.
When Andy and I kicked this idea around and we started talking about it, we're like, now get a handful of people. We're not sure who's all going to do it. No, it's like all hands on deck right now,
Yeah.
So great job. Before we even start looking at this stuff, amazing job. Just way to answer the bell. That's it. That's all there is to it.
All right. Shall we do it? Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. We're going to get into it. So let me see here. Try and get these on the big screen so everyone can see it. So we'll just start off with what I'm doing here. This is one of the home shops box cars that they're running right now, the Washington and Northern. And let me see. Do you guys hear that buzzing noise?
I do.
Okay. Ralph, is your mic jack plugged all the way in?
It should be, but let me check.
Okay.
How about let me also turn off the.
Is the layout on? It's gone now. So whatever you did, it's gone now.
Well, now we can't hear him.
Now I can't hear him. I'm going to unmute him. Oh, plug your mic back in. Anyhow, let us know when you get back, Ralph. All right. So anyways, we're working on this.
Look really nice.
Yeah, it's starting to get there. So we did a little the taco sauce last time, and added some of the rust, the scrapes and those types of things. And yeah, so it's coming along. We'll get there eventually. I got a lot to do yet on this one, but it's been fun trying to go for the subtle effects, not a total rust bucket job. So yeah, it's fun. So let's see. We got 22 comments. Hey, here we go. Most relevant. Hey, let's do all of them. All right. So SP Rockman Spur, he's been posting in the group chat, and it has been fantastic. This car is turning out really good. Nice waffle there for you.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you hear us okay, Ralph? We must have lost his Ralph's
His
microphone.
Yeah, we lost your microphone, Ralph.
Yep. So what we want you to do, Ralph, is go to the settings at the bottom of the screen there. We'll click on settings and go to audio. And let's try and select a working mic for you if you got one plugged in. Bring that back up. I think I heard you. I got you.
Oh, cool.
Oh. Yeah, now you're back.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
So
I don't know what happened. So,
well, it's a silly little software that we use. So, Rob Galbraith is entering another waffle car here. They seem to rust up really good. So it looks like he's got a project in front of him here. Got a nice picture to get the show started with. Got Alex Mantle, nice little fade and steam job here on this reefer.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Yellow's a fun color of weather, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Pain in the butt to paint, but it's a fun color of the weather.
Let's see. Ooh, another Home Shops deal. We got the old Texas and Great Northern box car sitting in the Livingston yard of the Montana Northern Railroad. So first of all, Montana Northern Railroad, good YouTube channel. Make sure you go and check them out. And then look at this Home Shops car. It looks really good. I'll zoom in here so you guys can see it. Nice job. Nice job. That looks indeed.
Really, really cool.
Yes. Oh, here's Jacob Klatt. This one here is the Chicago Northwestern boxcar. Faded paint.
That's real nice.
Harold did a real nice job. Look at how neat his Vallejo rack is back there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those before. I've always wanted to get one of those things.
I feel like I just break it.
I know.
Here we go. Jim Barrett.
Well, that looks nice. Nice job with the graffiti. That's kind of cool.
Grand Trunk. The Good Track Road. Isn't that their motto?
Yep.
They had pretty rolling stock.
Yeah.
Robert Jessup. Look at this. Athearn Blue Box 40-foot flat car added the deck.
I like looking at the way guys do flat car decks. I don't know why. Maybe it's because a lot of them are wood, but to me, I just think whether it's wood or steel, flat car decks are just intriguing to me for some reason.
Look at how we chewed up the ends of it.
That looks really
That's
really
nice.
good.
That's nice work.
That's really good work.
That is good stuff. Here we go. Joe Bohannon taking full advantage of the length of time for this challenge. He's opted to kit bash custom paint for the Chinook Lines Model Railroad.
Wow.
Before he weathers it. So quick background on the car. The McLeod Railway through ITEL had a large group of Thrall all-door boxcars rebuilt into traditional boxcars at FMC in Portland in the 1970s to take advantage of the per diem incentive program. I like their unique look and decided that my railroad would do something similar. He's got early construction photos in the replies below. We'll just check those out here quick. So this is what we started with, right? And now we're here. Well done, Joe.
That's a great idea.
Way to take it up a notch.
Yeah, no kidding. Way to use something the prototype did on your freelance railroad. That's awesome.
That's another good point, Mike. Very nice. Here we go. From the land of sky blue waters. There you go.
The beer refreshing hams. Beer refreshing hams.
They had the best commercials, didn't they? With the dancing bear.
The dancing bear, and then he always had his buddy. Wasn't there his buddy, a skunk? Wasn't there a skunk and stuff?
Peter Moyle.
Darn, you guys had good beer. You guys had good beer commercials, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
This was Hams is from Minnesota, isn't it? I'm gonna need the section crew to correct me on that, but I think that's a Minnesotan beer. But anyways, greetings all. This is the car that I'm going to be working on. It's an Athearn car that I bought several months ago. This is the first new car that I've bought in over 20 years. Everything else I've bought has been used equipment then I rebuilt. Right now, my only progress has been to move it from the layout to my workbench. Hopefully this weekend I will get some work done on it. Baby steps. So, hey, taking the first step is the biggest step. So good job there. And I like that Chicago Northwestern car in the background there with the faded Herald. That looks pretty good too. A lot of Chicago Northwestern cars getting beat up here.
And like rightfully so.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Bill Kenkel, he's been with the section crew for a long time. Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo drop-in mill gondola. Those old Proto 2000 kits. Says, I've never weathered anything before, so this should be fun. I have some reference photos I took back in the very early 90s to help. Well, Bill, if you need help, the section crew is here for you, man. But I'm sure it's going to turn out great. And gondolas are super fun to weather. So,
St. Paul, Minnesota.
There it is. All right, Joey Busek. I'll be honest, this is my weathering progress so far this month. It's been crazy around in my house and at work. Maybe next month he'll open the box. But it looks like a Prairie Shadows High Cube with what is it? The Michigan Interstate. Yes, the new orange
love to
board.
see that patched out. That would be kind of neat.
It would look really cool patched out for like Mascoutin Valley.
Mascoutin Valley or maybe Wisconsin Midwestern or
there you
something.
go.
Just kind of put a big square over that Michigan Interstate logo. It'd be
UP,
whatever. Yeah, just put anything over the top of that to make it look better.
Oh man.
McComas is just, I can see we're gonna get many emails.
And send all your hate mail to Ray at Around the Layout Podcast. All hate mail goes to Ray. All the good stuff comes to us, but all the hate mail goes to Ray. All right, Rob Sarna. Shamefully, I haven't started on mine yet. Posted this picture before. Andy loved it then. Not sure he's going to love it after I'm done with it. Hint in the comments. Another C&W car getting beat up.
And rightfully so.
Let's see the comment here. Here we go.
Oh, that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same car, though. That's not the same car. But
it's going to be another Nokel.
Yeah.
All right.
They did have a lot of them, though.
They did. Nathan Helms, former Erie 52.6 Milgon, will be patched as a maintenance away car for my freelance Chicago and Erie. Looks like we're on our way here. Oof. Milgons, fun. All right, let's see. Thought I saw a couple more people add in, so I'm just going to hit the refresh button real quick. Pain everybody here. Here we go. Here's Robert Jessup. We did that one with the deck. Yeah, Dennis Colucci getting ready to get started. First step's going to be adding the ACI labels, and it's time for fading. All right. He's got the taco sauce too.
N-scale guys are nuts to begin with, for crying out loud. Now you're going all the way down and starting to weather that tiny stuff. Holy cow. Yeah. That is N-scale, right?
I don't know.
That was N-scale. It looked like it was N-scale, isn't it? Or is it? That's got to be N-scale. That's got to be N-scale. Yeah,
it looks to be N-scale. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Daniel Leduc. Weathered car, the real rust bucket is the load made with pigment powder, fit well on the queso subdivision 8.0 scale. Very good. I like these odd loads for flat cars. Let me see, did I miss anything here? I don't think so. I think I got them all. All right.
I can show you mine real quick if you want to see.
Yeah, I was hoping. Oh no, there's a whole bunch I missed here.
Did you miss some? Oh yeah, don't pay attention to me.
Oh yeah, Bob. Let's see, McGilvery Jr.
Really cool. That looks good.
Yes, I think so. That is the rail box cars always getting destroyed. Very cool. All right, section crew, way to go, guys.
So here's what my contribution is, because I didn't take a picture of it, so I'll just show it to you. So far, we talked about that my Rock Island 4427 covered hopper that I've got, and so I went one day and I patched it out. And then what I started doing was I decided to make this a Wisconsin and Midwestern car. And so I'm not really too worried about how crisp everything looks. But the reporting marks, I don't know, Andy, if you want to put me up on the big board there or not. But
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was farting around doing something else.
So you can see how that looks kind of painted on.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, it's completely different. It's like that, and it looks just as bad. Right? See how right? Well, that's done on purpose because it's just to represent, hey, we threw this together. there was no real. I mean, and we see this all the time on regular. I mean, I had 2 cars today that literally had the number on the car was spray painted on, like out of a spray bomb. I mean, like
yeah, right.
rattle can. So I found these.
I see that all the time at work.
Yeah. I mean, it for the most part, they're getting kind of really good with those sticker decals to patch over the top of everything, and they've got those are really kind of those vinyl things that they use. But I wanted a car that would represent something that was kind of hastily thrown together. And so I found these stamps online, and it's just a little rubber stamp. This is just the end, and then the letters just go like right in. They click right into there, and now you have your
M or your W,
or your M or whatever the heck you want, and I use this acid-free ink pigment and dab it on, boom, boom,
dab,
press it on the card, and I usually put 2 letters or 2 numbers on this at a time because it'll hold it, and I just put that on there, and it gives the impression that it was painted on instead of actually having a regular decal. And it also gives an absolute randomness of like how square the numbers are to each other, because if you look at cars going past that have actually been done this way, they're not even. There's numbers are all over the place. As long as the number and the letters are on there and they're the right size, because the FRA does or the AAR does mandate that they're a 9-inch number on the side. So they should be 9 inches in height, and that's what these things come out to. And I thought I got to do the ends. I got to do the ends yet, but it'll be a neat car once it's all done, I think. So
I'm getting hollered at here, Mike, from the section crew.
Oh boy, what did I do now?
It's not you. I flubbed up the hashtag bit for the. It's my fault, 100%. But there's a couple of people that did some really nice work, and I wanted to highlight it here real quick. So
okay,
I'm going to steal the wheel back. I'm going to make
it.
Ralph suffer while he's hanging out with us here tonight. So Dennis Carroll from Otter Creek and Rio Grande. Yeah. So if you go, let me just share how to surf the internet better. If you go up in the second section podcast, and then go into the search section of the group and do hashtag group build, you get to see all the pictures that have been tagged. So you guys were doing it right. I was doing it wrong. So blame me.
My pictures of how I did this car is on there. I just saw them. So
yeah. So this is Dennis in the Otter Creek and Rio Grande. Boy, that turnout, huh?
That looks sharp.
Look at this. He's got the old lumber slats in the
That is really cool.
Inside the car. Well done.
That's nice.
Yeah. Here's some more pictures of it.
That looks so cool.
Yeah. Good job. We got so we saw Jim Barrett. We got Matt Forkham here. Is going to be doing an Atlas 40-foot box car, which he bought new on eBay, and it looks like he's going to deck this out.
Looks like he's doing everything to it but re-siding it.
Yeah, just about.
That'll be actually pretty cool, Matt.
John Fuller here. I think he does large scale.
Yeah, I think that's O.
I think it's O scale with the Western Maryland covered hopper. This is going to look good. Let's see. Adam Bunkelman. He's going to enter in a GTA cylindrical hopper.
That'll be cool.
Yep. And then we got.
Can't wait to see how he does his weld lines.
Yeah.
And how he does that, how he gets that all dirty and stuff like that. That's going to be really cool.
C.A. Fain doing another home shops job here for the Wisconsin and Upper Michigan.
Yeah.
And then we got
Gosh,
Chris
you guys are
Holschbach.
inspiring me. I'm gonna get back to
Yeah, get back to the bench, Ralph. So we got him, Lee Stormer.
That looks cool.
Yes, and
that's really cool.
Added a few more in the comments here. Oh my
goodness.
Let's see here. So Dennis went ahead and showed some of his process. So does Chris, adding metallic base coats and slope sheets for the discharge gates of the ballast hoppers. He's even going so far here down, and this is Jacob Klatt's C&W boxcar that he's destroying, and he shows us how he goes through that. But I want to show you some more. This is Mike, how he patched out that car.
Yeah, that was not cool. Fun. That was not fun.
Dennis has got his progress photos in here, but I thought this was really neat, getting the ballast loads right.
Yeah.
And how Shooter did that. So even working to take the load to the next level as well.
Shooter, I wish I would have known you have that. I've got that you were doing that. I have a bunch of overhead photos from the Iowa Interstate, from someone down in the Iowa Interstate of those exact cars. Could have shown. I wish I would have known you were doing that. Could have showed you the empties also.
Yeah. So it's just really, really good participation for the first group build that we've done. And
heck yeah.
I got to say thank you to all the people that are participating. There is a group chat for this too. So if you want to, a lot of the modelers are getting together and sharing how they're doing certain techniques. So if you go to the Facebook group, Second Section Podcast, and look for the side chats, we have one for the SSP weathering build. So it's good stuff there. So, so that takes us through the group build. So Mike, I gotta, as we do with every show, what'd you think of Ralph's layout?
Okay, so I've got a little bit of a soft spot for car floats and things like that. I've never got a chance. They stopped running them in 1990, but I used to work for the Green Bay and Western, and in 92 and right till the end, and it was their Keon or the Kewanee, their Lake Michigan car boats were like legendary. And the Milwaukee Road had some out in Washington State that went locations, and they were barge types. And I mean, it's a really, really cool way to like cycle cars on and off of your layout. You know what I mean? Like you can use the car floats are your staging almost. You can use that as the other end of staging, and I applaud your approaches so far of those two that you got done. They look beautiful, and the yard is really, really neat. I think it'd be a lot of fun to go down and
I want to
operate it. I know, so do I.
I want to operate.
Yeah. So yeah, I think job well done so far. It looks really, really neat. I think you're nailing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's turning out. I think it's turning out really, really great as well. And I just, from a diversity of cars that you can have and commodities and stuff go through those sheds and just come through like. I mean. I'm going to say this out loud, but you never have to stop buying cars. You could buy anything you want.
No, there's nothing I can't run. There's literally no car type I really can't have. So I mean, yes, okay, sure. I mean, I'm never going to own a pickle car. I'm never going to own one of those. But I
never say never.
I really want. That's true. I really want one of those nice Rapido helium cars, but
yes,
the only time they would have come to New Jersey was Lakehurst, New Jersey, and we all know what happened in Lakehurst. But that's south of Jersey City, and it wouldn't have run. It wouldn't have run on the Lehigh Valley. It would have run on the Penn Seat, probably to the CNJ, which went to Lakehurst. So it never would have been. But they're so cool,
I have something to say about that.
Yeah.
You're missing an opportunity. Those things didn't last forever. They could come through the Lehigh Valley in order to go to a scrap dealer someplace on the New York side of the harbor, and they were veered this way. So it might not have been an active car. It could be just a car going to be scrapped someplace on the New York side of the river, and so therefore they were taking it there via float. You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You're a good friend, Mike. You're a good friend for spending his money
Mike,
like that.
You're welcome.
So we got our friend Ron over at Mind Mount Models got a question for you. He says, Ralph, your car floats fix and you move the cars off by hand, or do you have multiple floats like a cassette?
No, and thank you, Ron. Ron is also a personal friend, so thank you for the only serious question out there tonight, Ron. So you win the prize. So no, and you know what, Ron, you just won yourself the job when we get to operating. It'll be pick them off the car float, put them in a drawer. The other drawer, open that up, put the new cars on the car float. So that's the plan. Yeah. I would love to be able to do like a cassette thing. And that was the idea originally. Like actually the closer to car floats that had that eventually will have the wooden car float bridges. That's on a library cart of all things. And the original idea was to pull that out of the way to get to the back two easier, but that's just I don't think that's going to work well. That's a disaster waiting to happen. As we used to call it on my friend Dave Ramos's layout, we used to call that the rotary car dumper, because inevitably somebody would hit it and they'd go onto the floor.
Yeah. So we got another one
that became known as.
Yeah, HYN Modeler 2018. Do you plan to use switch machines or ground throws for your turnouts?
Well, most of my turnouts are Pico. So, as we all know how Picos work. It's a finger flick kind of a situation. I do have ones that are hard to reach. I'm actually using. I think the name of the company is Dubro. They make the RC cable, the nylon thing inside of a hole. Yeah, look at me making fingers. Yeah,
making suggestive.
Yes, like a throttle.
Throttle cable.
Throttle cable.
Yes, throttle cable. There you go. That's my throttle cable move. Yeah.
Throttle cable.
Right.
So,
if the phone would work, I would show you, and maybe that's for next time's show. I'll show you the actual system I've got. But for close ones, it's either a caboose, ground throw, or it's just a simple Pico. I don't know if you can hear that noise, that wonderful Pico noise.
Boy, they flick so nice.
They do.
Yep.
Gosh, Pico and now Walthers they're making such nice track work. I wish Walthers had come out with their new line of track work when I was building this, because I'd use it. It's a nice gauge. I like our code, I should say, and it's quality track work. I like Pico too.
Is it code 83? Or is that what you use? Code 83?
It is. There's some sections on the layout, like some sidings that I had some code 70, but for the most part, it's 83. And once you weather it and paint it, code 83 gets visually a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, this track work in real life was crappy. It was garbage track, especially towards the end. But you know, I also want it to operate reliably. Code 100 is too big for my eyes, so I settled on code 83 as a standard. Yeah.
Are those diamonds hand laid?
But they should be. They should be. So when I first laid it out, they're all Atlas. Believe it or not, they're all Atlas. But the electrical conductivity was hideous. So again, my friend Dave Ramos took the whole thing out. We made it a removable section, and he laid it all out, and he meticulously soldered a feeder to every piece of track. And again, if I had to do it over, I would have used the Walthers diamonds. They're much nicer in detail. But I mean, Atlas track isn't bad track. I mean, it's not doesn't look maybe 100%, you know, as nice as it could, but it's reliable track. But he took it and then we just dropped in the section with all the diamonds on it, and we lined everything up, and it works. So, and that's the important part. It works.
So there's another. So Ron Kleiss has got another gem here. He says, "Have Ralph reel out his bass." So you play bass guitar?
I do. I have. I've been playing bass since I was
jazzy bass.
That would be cool because that would be classy. No, I'm an all-out rocker. I mean, as you can see, I you know, my hair is like here, but I used to have hair down to like, you know, here.
Are you serious?
You know, next show I'll show a picture. I'll embarrass myself because I'm good like that.
Yeah, and, good sport.
You know, I grew up in the 80s, so I was Def Leppard and yep. So
yeah,
you know, I still love that. I'm not ashamed, but
we'll have to
the whole 9 yards. Exactly.
White Snake. We can go on with all.
There you go. Absolutely.
All the
John like these Ralph. Who needs enemies? Good God.
Holy cow, Ted. Jeez Louise.
Wow.
So we ripped on each other.
Thanks.
Holy mackerel.
Thanks, Ted.
You talked about Dave Ramos quite a bit. And Humanity Junction's got a question. Does Ralph interchange car floats with Ramos? Move cars from one layout to the other?
We will eventually, yes, because fun fact, maybe to me and Dave, but maybe some other people. Dave and I live literally 45 minutes away from each other. He lives in northern New Jersey. I'm here in central Jersey. It's 45-minute car ride door to door. It was a 45-minute car float ride from Jersey City, my Jersey City, to his yard. What he's modeling the west side of Manhattan in 1947. So there's a little bit of a year gap, but we're modeling the exact. I'm car floating cars to West 27th Street, and he's car floating cars to Jersey City. So we're going to ignore that there's a 4 year difference, but we will do that eventually. And actually, the idea is when we have our out of town friends, we're gonna make somebody be the lucky, you know, recipient of actually taking a box of cars from Clifton, New Jersey, and driving them to South Plainfield, New Jersey, and putting them on the layout. So, yeah.
Oh man,
haven't found someone to drive the tugboat. Dave says, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. There. I'm glad Dave's on. Yes.
That sounds kind of fun though.
We'll have to.
Count Time Warp.
Yeah. So
good movie reference.
Yeah. There's another one for you. Is there a bottle of good scotch on board each of those floats then?
Yes, there is, for a certain friend of ours who lives in Reno, Nevada. He'll only come here, or he'll only come to any of our layouts if we have a bottle of Johnny Walker Black in the fridge for him. Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's the good stuff. That's awesome. So I guess Ralph, is there any other I guess closing thoughts or comments about the layout or your experience on second section so far that you just want to share before we take final questions and wrap up for tonight?
Oh, I'm loving I love the banter here. As you know, I come from my first podcasting experience was on a certain podcast that we will not mention, and then my second one was with our good friend Ray. And I love Ray. I love the professional. I love the very fact of the matter kind of podcasting. I love it. It's my kind of thing. I don't like shtick. But I tell you, you guys crack me up constantly. I mean, I'm sure you're watching my face. And I'm not going like this because I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? I'm going like this because these guys are hilarious.
Yeah, we love Ray.
I wish you guys
we're something. That's for sure.
I wish you guys didn't live so far away. I mean, I'd love to have a beer with you guys, so.
Well, we're probably going to have to do another brew with the crew, and Ralph, you're definitely more than welcome to join the cast of characters on screen and knock a few back with us. Because that was fun the last time we had you on for that. Yeah. And you're more than welcome anytime. So, Mike, I'm going to kick the microphone over to you. Any other thoughts or questions for Ralph before we do some administrative awfulness and tie down for the night?
No, Ralph, that's a awesome layout you got going there, and
looks fun.
It looks like a lot of fun, and
I hope so.
It doesn't. The thing is it's something that a lot of people don't necessarily look at modeling like that, like those. Like harbor terminals, those things were pretty intricate. I mean, and you pretty much nailed it so far with the way that looks. And I can't wait to hopefully one day get over there and operate and have some firsthand experience with it. That would be a lot of fun.
This is a silly question. So. Tim Moran brings this up. Maybe a get together after Amherst. Oh. I know we're threatening to come out there next year.
Yeah. Ray.
Yeah, Ray from around the rail might be dragging us along. So yeah, I'd love to hang out, at least break bread and maybe have a beer face to face for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely.
That's awesome. And anything else, Mike? Before I bring us back.
No, I want to just thank the section crew for all their hard work that they've been doing on the project that we've got going on, and it was just another one of those shows that was just fun. It was fun and really informative. So
a lot of info packed into this one tonight.
Yeah, a lot about areas that we don't typically talk about. We don't really get real deep into that New York East Coast type stuff. We just don't. It's for no reason. It's just something that never really comes up a lot,
Yeah. And the maritime railroading, we have no clue.
We have the Green Band Western and maybe the Grand Trunk Western and Chicago and Northwestern out of Manitowoc were like the closest. The Great Lakes stuff, a little bit, but
it's not the same.
It's not the same. I mean, you're taking cars from one point to the other point and you're interchanging them with a completely different railroad, and then the opposite. It's not anything as cool as what you have going on. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I just we'll talk about one thing here real quick. So we're gonna be on. So we normally do like an every other week deal, but Mike and I decided the hell with that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a show next week.
We are going to absolutely torture you guys.
Yep. So we're gonna be back next week. We're gonna have Home Shops back on, and we're gonna be talking about their latest release. And there is a big reveal that's going to be happening during that show, so you're not going to want to miss that. very near and dear to the folks here. Then after that, we're going to have John Parker on the show on the 20th, talking about his BNSF Fall River division. That's going to be a wild show. And then after that, we have Isaac Fabris and Matt Fricks coming on to talk about car forwarding on their respective layouts, and just a full, there's probably going to be a brew with the crew in there. So, we are going to get rid of the winter doldrums for sure.
Busy month.
It's going to be a busy month and a half. And it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people we're talking with getting Prairie Shadows back on the show, and talking with the many personalities of Jeff from that crew.
Also, for those that are in the area, not to interrupt Danny, but for those that are in the area, greater Wisconsin, northern Illinois, Iowa, if you can get there. The Mad City Train Show is February 15th and 16th. So in Madison, Wisconsin. So that's usually a really good time. It's not the largest show in the world. It's pretty big, but I mean, it's a really, really good show, and there's a lot of good camaraderie that always comes out of that one. And so that's something to mark your calendar.
Yeah, Mike and I might pop up live at Mike Shanky's house for his Wisconsin Southern layout. That it's like 10 miles from my house. So yeah, I should take advantage of that.
Don't tell Shanky that we're going to be doing that though.
No. Everyone keep it a secret.
Don't tell Shanky. Nobody tell Mike Shanky that we're going to be.
We're coming to his house.
Don't tell him that we're going to go live though. See, that's the thing. He knows we're coming.
Oh,
he knows we're supposed to come, but he doesn't know that we're supposed to go live. That we want to go live. Don't do that. Don't tell him. He never watches the show anyways.
Never. No, never. So then, never. And then the last bit of business. So we talked about the upcoming schedule, but I did want to just circle back to the Mini Prince fundraiser for the month of February, the Women in Model Railroading SIG fundraiser. So I'm going to put if you haven't gotten your Mini Lucy yet tonight, or Little or Mini Lucy, make sure you follow the link. Go and grab 1, 5, how many? But 50% of the proceeds from that go to the Women in Model Railroading Special Interest Group, and they're doing some really great stuff in the hobby to promote inclusiveness. So I want to thank Bernard for coming on and doing that little bit tonight. So Mike, I think this is where we finally shut her down and turn the number board lights off and call it a night. So I'm going to give you the microphone to take us out.
You want me to say something? Why do you do this to me?
Well, you're supposed, you have it. Don't you have it written down?
I do, but you didn't lead me into it the right way.
How am I supposed to lead you into it?
You always say, Mike, as we end the show tonight, what do we always tell everybody?
Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, right, it's okay. All right. Nobody pay attention to what just happened. All right. We're going to do this again.
I forgot what my line is.
Oh my God.
Mike, as we end the show tonight, what do we always say here at the second section?
Just keep modeling.
Just keep modeling. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.